congratulations on this project. It is a very entertaining watch. How did you come to this project, and why was this a project you wanted to be a part of?
Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yeah, this project was just a very organic thing for all of us to come to because it was a family project, you know? So we all were involved like pre-production, you know? And when my mom, the co-writer and director, Michelle, was writing with her partner Carolyn Carpenter, we would, get ideas just flying around at the dinner table and what have you, and then up until the final thing in post production, it was just all of us together. So it was kind of a no brainer. Like we're just gonna have fun with this together and just try to make the best thing that we all can at that time, you know.
Yeah, having this be such a family project, was it more of a challenge to get this done with so many ideas flying at you, or was it a lot more, more streamlined? How was that process?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, man. I think yeah, interesting question. It was definitely a benefit, like by and large, a benefit to have all of us talking about it whenever we can, because it's not a 9 to 5 where it's 5 p.m. You shut off your phone and you say like, hey, I'm not doing work, like don't talk to me type stuff. Like we're just throwing around ideas whenever we have them, and that was part of what made it such a smooth project when it was actually happening, because we kind of hashed out a lot of ideas and stuff beforehand. And yeah, it was a great collaborative experience and a great family experience too. That I think just it just helped everything be so smooth. The fact that we all were comfortable and confident in each other, and yeah.
Awesome. And having been involved in this project since pre-production,
Right,
did that
yeah.
make it easier to compose the music for this, as opposed to coming in once the shoots are done and just fitting music?
Yeah, for sure, dude. 100%. Because I mean, I had done a lot of short films before then at that time. And those are manageable as far as like, here's the short film, write the music, please. And it's like, okay, I got that. But yeah, this is the first time that I've done a feature all of myself. I've done some additional music on her previous project. I'm not here, but very minimal stuff. And this is the first time that I was trusted with a whole score, which was very intimidating, but very exciting at the same time. And yeah, it was of great help, as I said, for us all to talk about things as they were in pre-production. And I was also able to accompany them to the location scouting when we were going up to Montana to shoot. I went with them and I brought my little field recorder and just recorded a bunch of sounds from like the woods and some of the like the deputy station and the Cooper's house and stuff like that, just so I can get a feel for what the energy in there is, and maybe even use some of that stuff in the score, which I ended up using a lot of, mostly the wood sounds that I got from being there. A lot of birds or just like wind ambience, trees rustling, stuff like that, that I was able to manipulate into creative sounds, and just kind of have these soundscapes that I could use as templates for different moods, different ambience, different people, different locations, stuff like that when I was actually writing the music.
Mhm. Having this be your first feature, how honored were you that they trusted you so much and that they wanted you to do this?
I mean, it's one of those things where as a kid, you get encouragement from your parents, and it's sometimes hard to know whether or not they're just, boosting your ego and trying to make you feel, like to give you some self-confidence or whatever, or if they're if what they're saying has some serious weight to it. So this is kind of proof that they, really meant what they've been saying this whole time. And I mean, that meant the world to me, man. It was just, and it was such a great process too, because like that trust was the foundation of this whole project. Like if you don't have that trust and that like you know sense of like I can rely on this person and know that if I say like, hey, what do you think about this, that they're not going to just like blow smoke in my ass or whatever, like they'll actually tell me what they think about it.
Yeah.
That's important, man. That's real stuff, so yeah, I feel like if we don't have that trust, then what are we doing? you know
Definitely. And the score really brings out a lot of these scenes. It really amplifies the suspense.
Thank you.
How did that process start for you? Since you did start before the footage was actually made.
Yeah. Well, again, going back to the trust, one of the great things that I experienced on this was that I had kind of free reign for a lot of the score. They just trusted me to have, good ideas that, even if they're not, exactly what we want, we can hone them later on. And so yeah, so I kind of was just totally solo dolo for a lot of it. And then my mom, the director, would, we would sort of fine tune some things that like needed some work or whatever. And some scenes, we just I had to scrap the music entirely. Like you obviously have to have some of those. And yeah, so the experience of it was very smooth for the most part. I mean, and again, I have to attribute a lot of that to the preparation that I had as well, like just sort of getting the energy of it just totally infused in me beforehand, so that when the final cut came, we could just hit the ground running, and I can just be creative instead of having to manage files and see come up with themes and whatever. Like, got them, man. Let's put them in and then see how we can mold them perfectly to each individual scene in the progression of the film as an entirety.
Definitely. And how often do you actually get the opportunity to, see the script, see the shooting, and then compose the music? Is that
Yeah, exactly.
yeah?
Right. I mean, this is a unique experience in many ways, and I think that like the pre-production was maybe one of the most unique experiences that a composer can have for sure. A lot of times it's just like crunch time.
Mhm. Definitely. And she's not just your mom, she's also the boss, she's a director.
Yeah, of course.
How difficult is it to like switch that off in your mind? Like, okay, now I have to be very professional with her. She is the boss after all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as far as I think there's a few things there. One is just that, you know, our relationship as people is amazing to begin with. Like there's the trust that I talked about, a lot that's already there. There's the love that's there. And I totally respect everything about what she's doing in this process. So like the mutual respect as well. So yeah, again, I was kind of solo for a lot of this stuff, but when we worked together, um, ego kind of went out the window because you know I know that she's not trying to say that this is not good music or that this is stupid or whatever, or I'm not trying to like prove to her anything or whatever. It's like all we're trying to do is make the best thing that we can. And when that's the only thing that really matters, then you have fun, you make a great product, you just everything kind of falls into place. So I'm very grateful to have a great relationship with my mom and everyone in my family that it just smooth like butter after that.
Definitely. And once again, the music really brings out a lot of the scenes. How did the idea for the background music evolve throughout the writing process, throughout the filming process, and up to what we finally got?
Yeah, interesting. Interesting question, man. I want to say that the progression of it was not as noticeable from like when I started writing to when I finished writing. It kind of, again, because of the massive prep work, the feelings of it were pretty much entirely there. And then some of the stuff that had to be massaged, and that's just how it works. But um, in seeing even just a couple dailies that, they sent some footage from when they were shooting, even that stuff, like, kind of got a feeling for what I wanted it to kind of sound like and have the whole soundscape be. I mean, it's just very an isolating feeling, being alone in the woods but not alone. So that sort of sparseness with some tension in there is a lot of what I wanted to capture in the woods, and then a similar tension with Jenny, the mother, where she, again, she's alone, like, no one's in her house anymore. And without giving spoilers away, no one's in the house. But also there's everything going on in her mind and outside world. So a lot of duality in this movie for me, and in the plot itself, with you know evil and love and emptiness and denseness and tension and everything. So yeah.
How proud are you of this project? And, is there any scene that you're most proud of having accomplished the composition for?
Interesting. There's a few. I mean, as a whole, man, it's just such a blessing to do something like this. I'm just so grateful. And we all are so excited for people to see this and excited for what's to come too. Like if we do anything else in the future, with undoubtedly we will. As far as for me personally, the first scene of the movie, the gas station scene, I really love a lot. There's also, without giving too much away, the final climax scene of the movie, I love a lot. And there's a certain person takes some mushrooms sometime in the middle of the movie, and that was one of the ones, that one and the gas station scene I probably had the most fun with because they're very up my alley. I love the fusion of electronic music and classical production, and the creative side of both of those scenes was just like, I just get happy like thinking about it. That was really, really, really fun. So all of it was a blast, but yeah, those especially were really sick.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on this. It is a very entertaining project to watch, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you so much, Jesus. Appreciate you.